Hi guys, this is Lonio again. I'm bringing you a commentary on Jungle Basin, and this is a random replay I downloaded from the site that's advertising itself here, and I've got no idea exactly where this is from, but we've got a couple of hopefully decent players here. We've got dDoRo as the Red Protoss in the bottom right, and we've got Stimaholic as the blue Terran up in the top left, and both of these guys have been top 200 North American ladder players. I'm guessing this might be a ladder game. Haven't really seen either of these guys play in many competitions, and so I'm not really sure what they're like or anything about them. I haven't actually really had much kind of to do with this map before, so I'm not really sure how this is going to play out either. You've got a easy to take expansion down here just out the back of your main, which doesn't have any rocks guarding it, and there's some rocks up here which guards a back entrance to it. There isn't really an easy to get and hold third, because you've got this base up here and then a base here beyond the rocks from your kind of natural expansion, your back natural expansion, and basically those are the only two bases, so taking a third's possibly going to be quite difficult here. You can get some good vision down the middle of the map with these two Zelnaga watchtowers up on the high ground, and we've got a scout coming out now for Stimaholic, and both players so far just being fairly standard in their opening. The gateway coming up now, and the barracks going down at standard time for Stimaholic up here. And one interesting feature of this map is this gap here, which you can't see very clearly because of the fog of war, but basically there's kind of a small gap between this main area up here where this SCV is just wandering down now to go and scout dDoRo's base. There's a kind of short jump here, so what a Terran can do is stick some tanks down here and almost hit this back natural, or what I've seen, because I have seen couple of games on here, is the Terran basically got his bioforce, so got some Marines and Marauders, and he had medevacs out, and basically he just did a quick little drop from here to here, just moved his bioforces in, and because the gap's quite narrow you can have some bioforces sat here, and you can drop some bioforces down here, and the bio down here, this is against the Zerg, can shoot any Zerg that tries to attack the bio that's being dropped, and you can just move your troops into that back natural, and it's really quite easy to take anything down. And in that game that I saw, unfortunately the Zerg had decided to build a spire in the back natural, so that was taken down really quickly by the bio forces, and if he'd had that up in his main he might have done alright. So we've got a reactor coming down, so it looks like Stimaholic's going to try and possibly put on some early pressure with that reactor, because he's not going to have enough gas for a factory anytime particularly soon, so he doesn't look like he's going to put on any helium pressure. And we've got a cybernetics core down for dDoRo, so he's going to be able to get out some stalkers along with zealots. And if we look at the moment, it's 16 SCVs against 19 probes, so dDoRo is slightly ahead in the probe count. But we've got a interesting racks placement over here, kind of slight proxy racks. You probably won't have vision from this Zelnaga watchtower, so he's going to be able to add in some more Marines when he decides to do a push with some Marines, so he's just started pumping out Marines, so it looks like we're going to get early Marine pressure, and a factory is coming out now. Oh wait, sorry, that's me being... what? Okay, sorry, the factory's over here. So Stimaholic's kind of being a bit weird. He's got a semi-close racks over here, he's got the reactor racks in his main, and he's got a factory building down here, so I'm not quite sure what he's going to do. Possibly use the factory to scout in the base, and it looks like we've got a Stargate going down, so I'm hoping that he's going to be using this factory to scout in the base, and he's going to drop a starport down in his main so he can get some medevacs out to support the Marine Marauder force that he's probably presumably going to get. He's getting a tech lab over here, so I'm presuming that's going to be for some Marauders. And he's got some Marines just wandering about in the middle of the map. He's got the SCV here, and the SCV is pulling back from over here, and this factory so far is just sitting, not doing much. And so we've got the Stargate and a couple of gateways, and he's just getting a warp gate technology, so in a minute there'll be warp gates. And it looks like Stimaholic's not doing a huge amount. He's got some Marines back at his base, which he's a couple of staying there, a couple of moving out, so it looks like he might try and put on some pressure using his SCVs to tank some damage. Although if dDoRo, I'm not sure whether you can block the ramp here with a force field from the sentry, so I'll have to see about that. And now we've got the factory floating, so that might come in and try and take some damage as well. So we've got some void rays coming from dDoRo, and he looks like Stimaholic's going to do a bit of a push with these Marines and this Marauder and these SCVs, so I'll have to see if dDoRo can get a couple of force fields down, because he's got enough energy for 2 force fields on the ramp, so it'll be interesting to see if he can manage to protect that. And now the void rays out, so that'll be able to do a bit of damage, and the factory's being landed, so that might be about to produce some Hellions, and he doesn't use any force field on that sentry. That's a really pretty poor force field, and he's just getting all these units taken down, but the second force field does manage to block the ramp, so these units can't get in. He's warping in a couple more zealots. Got this void ray attacking this factory, which is producing a Hellion in the base, so he can do a bit of spray harass with that if and when it comes out, which it just might manage to do just before that factory goes down. But now all these Marines and Marauders are moving in, and they're going to start attacking these Zealots. But if the Zealots manage to take down Marines, then they're not going to be able to do anything against this Void Ray, and this Void Ray is just going to be able to take down the Marauders. And it looks like he's only got one Marine left, and if that Marine goes down, then this Void Ray is basically going to be able to go to town on these Marauders. So he really needs to either do as much damage as he can over here, or run these Marauders away, but I don't think he'll be able to get away from the Void Rays very easily, so he's going to try and do some damage, but no, the Void Rays managed to take them both down, and there's almost no economic damage done here. So if we look at the income type, we've got 27 harvesters for dDoRo, and he's managed to stay ahead with the economy against the SCVs being produced by Stimaholic, although the mules are going to allow him to keep fairly close. And if we look at the unit tab now, it's just those, a couple of sentries, a couple of Zealots now just warped in, and a couple of Void Rays which are on their way to Stimaholic's base, but he's been producing quite a few Marines, so these Marines should be able to defend against these Void Rays, and dDoRo is going to have to be very careful that he doesn't lose these Void Rays to all these Marines, and he's running them away, but it looks like this final one might be caught, although Stim's not upgraded, so it's going to be difficult for Stimaholic to manage to catch up and take these down, especially with the cliffs. So it looks like dDoRo is going to manage to run these Void Rays away without taking too much damage, but he hasn't managed to do too much damage either. And we've got another Void Ray coming out, so it looks like he's going to stick with these Void Rays, and he's got these 2 sentries and 2 Zealots just guarding his base, and we've got some more Marauders still being produced. And sorry, I've completely missed the fact that the Nexus has gone up, so we've got an expansion up for dDoRo, and it looks like we've got a command center coming up, so an expansion also for Stimaholic, and he's getting the Ghost Academy, which is pretty good against Protoss, because you can obviously use EMP to take down the shield and take all the energy off, so these sentries, they could be left without any energy if they don't use their force fields quickly enough against the ghosts. Or sorry, against the army, and then the ghosts manage to EMP them and take all their energy away. So I'll have to see whether Stimaholic decides to try and do another bit of pressure, but with all these Marines, these Void Rays really need to be quite careful that they don't get taken out by the Marines, because Marines can take Void Rays down pretty easily, especially since there are a lot of units, so it's quite difficult for the Void Rays to take them all out before they can do all the damage that they need to. And if you check the income, it's 36 now against 31 harvesters, and the Void Rays have gone back to the base, and it looks like Stimaholic's going to open up this back route from his base, and just look at the production tab. It looks like it's getting the increased energy for the ghosts and combat shield for the Marines, and just making this into an orbital command so he can get more mules out, and he's getting his extra gases up, and he's going to need those gases if he wants to produce quite a few ghosts. And yep, we've got ghosts coming out here, so if we check the unit tab, he's got no ghosts out so far, but then there'll be the one ghost out just in a minute, and he's still only working off these 3 barracks, and he's got an engineering bay down, and he's not doing anything with it yet, but I'd expect to see some upgrades fairly soon, probably attack upgrade for all these Marines and Marauders, since he's got quite a Marine Marauder focused army, and I'm surprised that he's not got a Stargate up yet, because really with this many Marines and Marauders, it's quite a good idea to get a starport up so that he can support it with the medevacs. And we've got quite a few Void Rays out now for dDoRo, and he should be able to use them if he can catch this Marine Marauder army out of position. He should be able to use them to quite quickly take down this expansion command center. But it looks like Stimaholic's going to move out and take down these rocks, and there's a pylon spotting there for dDoRo, so he's going to be able to see if Stimaholic does decide to try and take this out and move his army to position hopefully quickly enough. But these rocks should go down fairly quickly to these Marines and Marauders, and doesn't look like dDoRo's possibly spotted it yet. I'll just check his vision. He should be able to see that the rocks are going down, but it doesn't look like it's reacting yet, and he's just floating around with his Void Rays, and the rest of his army is over here. So he might possibly lose this expansion if we get a stim from Stimaholic. So he should be able to take this Nexus down fairly easily. It looks like at the moment, with the loss of that pylon, dDoRo is now supply cap, so he's not going to be able to warp in any units to support this, and these Void Rays are not taking too much damage from these Marines, and they're being microed pretty well to try and keep the damage ones as far away as possible, and those sentries using the crossbows pretty effectively to keep the Marines further away from the Void Rays. And these Void Rays have pretty much managed to clean up this entire Marine army, and now they can just easily take down the Void Rays, the Marauders. So it looks like some nice micro theft from the Void Rays. Have managed to basically hold off this attack with minimal losses. He's just lost those sentries and the Zealots, which is kind of expected, and it looks like he's taking an expansion up over here and getting some cannons in place, and he's going to move out with these Void Rays, possibly try and take down this expansion CC up here, if he can get them in place in time before there's too many Marines. And I'm not sure that there was any use of ghosts there by Stimaholic, which would have been quite effective against the Void Rays. And we see a Ghost put down the EMP there, but there's just not enough Marines here to take down too many void rays, although he does manage to take a couple down now that they haven't got their shields, and it looks like dDoRo wasn't microing these void rays over against Marines, so they managed to do quite a bit of damage and take down quite a few void rays, so that was a pretty poor decision to attack there by dDoRo, and he could have run away after that EMP, although the stim would have probably allowed him to catch up. So he's probably still got the advantage, and he looks like he's going to be putting down another Stargate so he can produce even more void rays, so he's getting very void ray heavy here, and he's taking down this Ghost producing barracks, although there are more barracks now going down in the main, and he's getting tech labs and reactors, so it looks like he's going to go really heavy Marine, and these void rays are doing a pretty good job because the Marines are just not bunched up enough, so they're being taken down pretty quickly by these void rays. But if we look in the main, there's no expansion, no third expansion coming up from Stimaholic, so it looks like dDoRo is going to be able to take a pretty commanding economic lead. Just check the income tab. The income's fairly even thanks to these mules, which boost the mineral income, and the fact that this has only just started going up, so there aren't too many probes. But fairly soon, I would say, yep, Stimaholic's running out of minerals in this main, so he's just going to be on the one base against two bases of dDoRo, and dDoRo is going to be able to take a decent economic lead. And let's check the production tab. We've got air weapons 2 coming up now for these void rays, so they'll be even more effective against the Marines. And we've got some more Ghosts being produced, infantry armor being researched, so he's already got the damage upgrade, now he's getting infantry armor upgrade, and he's getting some missile turrets around just to protect against those void rays. So we've got a couple of missile turrets here, although they're not particularly effective. Oh, we've got quite a few observers here, sorry, just hadn't checked that before. But anyway, we've got a couple of missile turrets up, but they're not going to be able to do too much against this many void rays, because when they focus their fire, it'll take them down really quickly. And these Marines might even suffer quite heavily against these void rays if the void rays are microed well, although they're just going to try and run away for now and make sure that they stay alive. And we haven't really got many gateway units, so we just got 2 zealots and 8 void rays against basically mass Marine and a few Ghosts. So we got a fairly decent counter force for Stimaholic, and he's got a lot of gas, because obviously he's not been spending any gas on too many units apart from the Ghosts, so it's mostly these Marines, and the Marines are getting completely destroyed by these void rays, because there are just so many of them that even though the EMPs are used really effectively by dDoRo, and now we get some more Marines coming in, and they're absolutely eating up these void rays completely. And wow, this is it's not too bad since these other void rays are coming in, but there's just so many void rays down being lost by dDoRo, and so many Marines just kind of wandering around that they're able to basically take out most of the void rays. And there's just so many Marines, although that might stop fairly soon when all this minerals run out. And he's got another expansion coming up here, so he'll be able to stick down this other expansion. And I have to see if either player decides to try and go for one of these kind of quite precarious middle expansions, which I wouldn't be expecting to see. But one of the things that's a bit of a shame is the fact that these little ledges haven't been exploited by either player yet, and with the air dominance we still haven't seen any medevacs for Stimaholic, so he's not able to repair his kind of fire forces. But then it hasn't really mattered, because they've mostly just been dying or staying completely alive, and now we get this expansion going to be taken down, I expect, by this focus fire, although with these void rays coming in it's going to be a bit different, and we'll have to see if these Marines manage to take down enough void rays. But it looks like these void rays are going to win the fight, and then Marauders are just going to get taken down completely by the void rays before they can do enough damage on this Nexus, I would say. We've got a couple of Zealots been walked in as well, so basically the Nexus manages to survive, and dDoRo's lost pretty much his... Stimaholic's lost pretty much all of his army, and he's just got these few forces here coming back to try and reinforce, but there's just more void rays being produced. So we got 6 void rays, and 4 zealots and 2 sentries. And we got this third base up, and this game we've got a couple of turrets, which is apparently enough to make dDoRo not want to try and attack, and he hasn't got any armor upgrades or shield upgrades on his units at the moment. So he's going to take a bit more damage than he might off his turret. But you can see that the void rays just eat through the turrets completely, and without these SCVs doing any repair work on them, they just go down so quickly. And it looks like this command center as well might go down, especially when these SCVs aren't even repairing. But now we finally get some repairing. But even so, once these void rays get fully charged, they can still manage to destroy command center. But we've got Marines coming in and taking down these void rays.